Okay, welcome back. We are live here at the Sahara
Sahara
West
West
Library.
Yep.
Yeah, the libraries are always going to be a great place to be, but
Lots of books.
they're firing themselves in here. They're giving over to AI, and I don't appreciate it. But welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Aces Full of Queens, where the podcast where we pretty much zone in on the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA in general, and sports at large. But today we're going to talk about the Aces because a lot's gone on. I'm here with my cousin. This is a Curry Connor production. And introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Anthony still. And just before we get to the WNBA, go Knights go.
Oh,
back to the
right.
Stanley Cup. It's important.
Las Vegas is full of sports, you guys, and more is coming.
Full of
So,
champions.
wow. Is this going to be number 3?
This
Maybe?
will be the third Stanley Cup final. If they win it, it'll be the second Stanley Cup champion. So, yeah.
You guys hear that?
And in 9 years. So,
Wow. It's been 9 years?
that's a different podcast also.
You're right. Somebody's out there doing that right now. So, again, welcome to Aces Full of Queens. We're here to talk about the Las Vegas Aces and the last week. We're going to go from like May 23rd to the 28th, which was yesterday. They do have a game tomorrow. And they're going to play.
Pull up that schedule.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
So the Aces play the Valkyries on the 31st.
Ooh-wee. The Valkyries played last night, and they were darn good. So we're going to get ready for that.
Really good.
Okay, so let's get to this. Now, we're going to recap these last 2 games. The first game was against the LA Sparks, and the game last night was against the Dallas Wings. So both games are some L's for us, sadly. I have my own theory as to why we lost the Sparks game, but I don't know what happened last night. But we're gonna talk about it. So the LA Sparks game, the final score was 101-95. We had Kelsey Plum as Player of the Week with 38 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. She unfortunately does have an ankle injury this week, so she's out. But I think by the time we play them again next week, she'll probably be back. What do you think?
It's still day to day on her injury. So from the Sparks perspective, that's a huge hit. Like they were finally starting to play like they, were getting some continuity, getting some consistency, had an understanding of what was going on, where all the pieces fit, and now their biggest piece is sitting on the bench. So they're going to need Ray Burrell to step up. They're going to need some of the other perimeter players to step up, and not just perimeter players, but in the post, De'Erica Hamby, Cameron Brink, getting some points there.
Yes,
will be really important. They've got talent on the team; they can do that. But she dropped 38 on us, and so it's going to be a lot missing for them. So
yes.
Hopefully she's back. That way, when the Aces beat them next time, they can do it while they're at full strength.
Yeah, because we don't want to play, the diet team, and say we won. So, what was interesting about that game was that the Aces went into halftime leading, and I mean they played some pretty good basketball. Like I always love to see Kelsey Plum playing with the Aces. It warms my heart. I want her back, but I understand that we have to share the love out here. But it was just a really good game. Like I appreciated the game. I appreciated everybody's, just their fundamentals, their sportsmanship. I don't think there were too much scuffling going on,
No.
So overall, great matchup.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. And I think that actually gets to what I think when we talk about what's happened to the Aces over the last 2 games, whether it's the Sparks game or the game last night against the Wings. At halftime of the game against the Sparks, they were winning 52-46. And so they, it's not a huge lead, but you're winning, and then you come back in the second half, and things kind of fall apart, and like that game was much closer. It was a 6-point game at the end. So like instead of being up 6 points, they ended up losing down 6 points. So you get outscored in the second half by 12 points, and that's the exact same thing that we saw last night. The Aces were up, I want to say last night, by 8 points at the half.
Yes.
And they end up losing that game. And so I think that they're getting the hot starts. They still have the best player on the planet, and Asia Wilson on the team. Kennedy Carter, she had an excellent first half yesterday, and then the Wings were able to make some defensive adjustments and kind of neutralize her a little bit. But also the shots just weren't falling.
They were not going in.
If you watch the end of the fourth quarter, I think as Aces fans we've gotten really used to seeing Chelsea Gray be able to come down and make something happen with the passing or with the shots. And she was making great passes and the shots weren't going in. She was taking good shots and the shots weren't going in. And so that's going to happen every now and again. And that's just to take nothing away from the Dallas Wings. They played an excellent game.
Absolutely.
Jessica Shepard obviously wants to be talked about in the MVP conversation.
She does.
She's averaging, I want to say, 13 points a game.
She had 22 points last night.
Yeah, she's averaging 13 a game, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Like those are big numbers that are going to really contribute. AZ Fudd has emerged as a presence. She's living up to that number one pick.
Yes, she is. Very good.
Which last time that we sat down and had this conversation, there were some concerns about that.
Right.
And so she made her first start against the Aces. She made the most of it. Paige Beckers, and like this is a game where the Aces lost to the Wings, and the co-defensive player of the year from last year, Alana Smith, was out with an illness, and then Enrique, she was also ill, and I think scored 1 point. And so this was a Wings team that didn't have their full arsenal of players, and they were able to pull that one out. So I think that Becky's going to get things together. She'll get it fixed. We're not going to keep seeing these types of second half collapses. But it's really hard to watch the back-to-back losses, especially the back-to-back home losses, when you throw in the Sparks game with the Mercury game from opening the season.
Ooh,
and you called it. Last time we talked about this, you said you were worried about Banner Night.
I was worried about Banner Night, guys. And worried for a reason. If you like to read, I actually wrote an article about this on my Substack, Krystle Connor, saying, ask the celebration. Now, there ain't no reason they couldn't have did this banner the day before, the week before, the day after.
Well, they want to celebrate it with the fans, You
and I
raise
get
a banner, it's a championship. You want to celebrate with the fans.
I totally get it. However, how do you expect, and this is not just to the Aces, how do you expect people to come from such a high? And I understand athletes to be, you got to get into a dirty, angry place when you play these games. And especially when you're playing against like a rival or a really tough matchup. And I don't believe that being high on a celebration helps. I don't think it helps that dog in you. When it comes down to it, you're just a little, you're high and you're, I don't know what the word is. There's something in the air. There's something that happens. Our adrenaline's going, and it takes a while for that stuff to calm down. It takes a while for our nervous system to flatten or whatever. So, in my opinion, let's save the celebration. How about afterwards? How about after the game? If they lose, that's not fun. Okay, guys? It's not fun. But it won't be because you weren't ready. You won't have any excuses at that point, because maybe this is some sabotage.
There's an argument to be made that if you go into the game and you're waiting to do the celebration after, your mind's not on the game. You're thinking about the other thing. So it's a split focus.
There you go.
I think the bigger thing here is like these are professionals. These are champions. I think the bigger thing here is it highlights to the other team what they need to be thinking about.
Right.
And you're already coming in as a champion. You have a target on your back, and like I said when we were talking about the game against the Mercury had to watch the Aces celebrate on their court, winning the WNBA title last year. And so then they come for the first game of this year, and they got to watch the Aces get these big fancy rings. And, they probably felt some kind of way about that. And so the Sparks come in, and, Kelsey Plum's there, and she's looking at this banner go up into the rafters. This one doesn't have her name on it.
Oh, God.
And so she let them know. And so it's one of those things that happens, but they've already gotten the rings. They've gotten the banners. So I don't think
Are we done?
I don't think we have any more
Are we
celebration
done?
nights.
My God. I mean, my God. Listen, I'm all for celebrating the Aces, okay? Like, let's do it every week. I'm just saying, like, let's be mindful. But you know what? I like the psychological warfare that you're talking about. That may really be what was going on.
Yeah.
There was some vengeance at work. And maybe that's just more of a tip to them knowing, like, hey, if the Aces are celebrating something, we can get them. Right? Maybe.
No, I don't think that's it. I think they, both teams got lucky.
They did.
When we come back around, we'll get the get back.
But Becky Hammond had some words. She wasn't thrilled with that loss. There's nobody wants to lose. Yeah, nobody wants to lose. Okay, but if you do lose, you want to feel like you lost fairly. Let's listen to Becky.
The other thing, Asia Wilson shoots 1 free throw, Kennedy Carter 0, Jackie Young 0. I'm fucking tired of that bullshit. I'm not saying they didn't earn their 22 down there, but when a Walk-Aware shoots more free throws than Asia Wilson and Jackie Young and Kennedy Carter all combined, that's a problem. And we're not getting the same whistle. All right, give me my fine.
Give her fine, okay? She said what she said, and she meant it. What do you think about what she said?
I think that she definitely has a point.
Yeah.
But I also don't like to be talking about the refs.
Okay.
If it's something egregious, like we go back to the playoffs last year, like in my opinion, the Alyssa Thomas thing that injured Nafisa Collier. That was something like I thought that there might be a fight between the Lynx coach and the official, and I think that's something where we need to get the officiating involved.
Yeah.
But 100% understand and respect where Becky's coming from, but I think that at the end of the day, in her post-game conference, she mentions Jackie Young. Jackie Young was 7 for 20 from the field. She missed 13 shots. And like some of these were like good shots.
Yeah,
and so,
no, they were.
Yeah, you want to be able to have the same whistle, as she put it. The officials are calling the game the same way, but I don't think at the end of the day that's why they lose. I think that the field goal percentage for the team, 44%, and like that's not terrible, but they can do better. They have done better a lot of times,
of course.
And I think that especially in crunch time, as the game was getting away, the shots weren't falling, and so Becky. She's within her rights to be upset about that. But, like I say, I think that we'll get the get back. The Sparks we play the Sparks again next week. The Wings are here on the 25th of June. And so, let's take these lumps early.
That's true. Let's take them early. You're right. Yeah. Let's get them early. I will also say the Dallas Aces game was sold out in Arlington, Texas, y'all. So at the end of the day, something's going right. Okay, maybe we didn't win this one, but I'm with you. Like, let's take our lumps early. Let's get these losses out of the way, because when the time comes and it counts, I don't want to hear no excuses.
Well, what really hurt that game last night was the Alicia Clark three-pointer that kind of like iced it. And, it's once again a former Aces player.
A champion. Another champion.
Another former Aces player and champion, doing big things against us this time.
Yeah. I wonder how that feels for them, Does it feel good to be like scoring on your old teammates and, make your coach look, a little mad? Or does it hurt deep down and they're like, sorry.
I think you're asking the wrong person. For me, it'd be like, you should have done everything you could to keep me in the building. You didn't do that.
It's true.
Take this L.
Take this L. Fair enough. I feel like there was some really good playing going on. Jackie was shooting. Nalissa Smith. She was blocking. She was blocking and shooting.
Yeah,
They were really lucky they had her.
the rebounds, 12
The
rebounds, 12 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, so you're getting second chance shots, and then the 8 remaining rebounds are defensive rebounds, so you're not giving them second chance shots. That's really big. I think if it wasn't for the fact that Jessica Shepard had 20 rebounds, we'd probably be talking a little bit more about the work that Melissa Smith did on the boards there.
Yes, the hashtag is "Don't Mess with Jess." She was out there. Well, that's what I saw today on Twitter X. I saw "Don't Mess with Jess." She was working. She was doing her job, and at the end of the day, we will always appreciate that, even if we lose.
She got compared in her post-game conference to Draymond Green, and said she thinks she can score better than him. So,
hey, Draymond, come on, man, come on the show. We can talk about it. Draymond Green, wow, is that a compliment? Did she like that?
Yeah, I think she started off by saying he's a champion multiple times over for a reason. Like, he does what his team needs him to do.
That's right. Including,
but wanted people to know she could score better than him.
Right. She is less violent, I would say.
Let's not call that man violent. He's out there.
You know what? He's not violent. He is aggressive, and
let's not call that man aggressive. He's out there. There's
what can I call him?
There's this perception that basketball in the NBA is like supposed to be this non-contact sport. Go back and tell the '80s Pistons that it was a non-contact sport. Go back and tell the '90s Knicks that it was a non-contact sport. And so Draymond, he's just a guy who's playing basketball in a different era than he probably should be playing it.
That's probably true. And on that note, go New York, go New York, go. The Knicks are in the they will be in the playoffs.
They're in the NBA finals.
Champions in the finals
for the first time since 1999.
99. What a great year. Full of Y2K just fear.
We started high school that year, right?
Yeah.
No, I started high school that year.
You did? Okay, that's fair. Oh man. Columbine. Anyway,
you can't just add
if you know, you know. I mean, if you know, you know. You know where you were. So back to this, I would say, if we're talking about storylines, I think I already brought up the biggest storyline that I feel like is happening is the Aces playing their former championship teammates. We've got Plum, Alicia Clark last night, and Kia Stokes is coming up.
Yep, on Sunday.
And again, I just wonder what they're thinking, I know it's a joyous time. They still see each other. They hug. They laugh, right?
Yeah. I think that, this is kind of the point you were making last time we were talking about this. It's the W. It's not a lot of, there's no male ego.
Right.
That you're dealing with the players. And so I think that, you're getting a little bit more maturity. But I think at the same time, these are competitors. These are people who want to win. I think that when we get to the power rankings and go through those a little bit, we'll talk a little bit about all the stuff that's going on with Caitlin Clark and the comments from Carrie Champion and all of that. But I think that at the end of the day, these teams, they want to win, and you have a player like Kia Stokes who was a backup here, and honestly, at the position that she plays, it was going to be hard for her to be a starter. She plays behind Asia Wilson, and there was times when they moved the lineup around. But now she's out in Golden State, and she's starting, and she's got an opportunity to prove herself. She's playing 22 minutes a game. She's averaging almost 4 points a game, and I know 4 points is not a lot, but she's also averaging 5 rebounds a game almost. And
that's
so
something.
This is an impact that she's having on that team. And I think, the other thing, she's averaging 2 blocks a game, and so she's able to put that defensive imprint on their opponents. That's what Golden State, that's what the Valkyries are all about. And so, I'm sure that when she comes back, she's going to want to show that they maybe could have gotten more from her when she was here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what's going on is everybody's trying to prove themselves, prove that they are good outside of the Aces. Yes, they won their rings there, but they're still a force outside of that.
Yeah.
Which is fair to say.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it, happy to see it. So what were you talking about? What did you just mention?
The Caitlin Clark controversies.
Yes. Now, Caitlin, we don't like to get in. Well, Anthony doesn't like to get into, the politics and the nitty gritty and the gossip and stuff, but I love it. So, I don't have a whole lot to say about Caitlin Clark. She's not on my timeline.
Yeah.
Really. But the things I hear, I don't hear good stuff. But I see good stuff. She's a good player. I will admit that. I wouldn't call her a ball hog. I'd say she knows how to put the ball in the hoop. And whoever knows how to put the ball in the hoop, that's who you get the ball to. Right?
Right.
I'd say that on any team.
That's basketball.
That's basketball. The ball's supposed to go in the hoop. And she does draw a crowd, guys. Like, she's got fans. People love her.
For their first game here on the 5th, it's at T-Mobile Arena instead of at Michelob Ultra.
And I'm guessing it's going to get sold out, guys. I'm just saying. People want to see Caitlin Clark. They believe in her talent. She was injured for most of last season, and so people are even more so invested in what's she going to do because she's got to come back and be this star, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is she matching up?
Like I say, I think that overall the numbers say that she's, she's doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Last night was not her best outing against the best defensive team in the W, but she still had 16 points. She's making a serious impact on her team. I think that what happens is there's this whole conversation happening about is she overly entitled? Is she getting favoritism?
Right.
And all of that. And I think that was kind of kicked off by the Carrie Champion comments this week, where Carrie Champion basically just said, the more we get to catch a glimpse of the, what'd she say? The more we get to catch these glimpses of Caitlin Clark, I'm like, I don't like you. And,
Carrie.
that's...
Oh, Carrie.
That's a way that you can feel, I think that not to play devil's advocate, the joke is always the devil has enough advocates, but
Sure does.
if she was in the NBA and she was Kyle Clark, would we have the same type of reaction to
Would we?
I think that there was a moment last night when she was trying to draw a foul on Kia Stokes and didn't get it and immediately turned and yelled at the official. I don't think it was a foul.
Wait, is that the one she got hit in the nose?
No.
Oh, okay.
But she thought it was a foul. She turned and yelled at the official. I don't think it was a foul, but she seemed like she thought she was entitled to that foul.
No, you could. There is a little bit of a air. You can feel a little bit of it when she's playing. Like she knows eyes are on her, so she expects people to make the calls that she's throwing down, right?
Yeah.
Because she knows she's being watched.
Yeah.
It's like your eyes are on me, ref. So make the call.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, is she putting the basket in the hoop? She's scoring 22.5 points a game. She's averaging 8.5 assists a game.
It's pretty good. So we're gonna keep our eye on Caitlin. Sorry, I said the mercury. Yeah, the fever, because I feel like she does, not unintentionally, but her star does kind of overshadow.
Yeah, I think that, her being in the backcourt with Kelsey Mitchell means that Kelsey Mitchell gets overshadowed a lot. Kelsey Mitchell's averaging 21 points a game.
Oh.
She's, she is a consummate professional and a baller. Like, Kelsey Mitchell is not somebody you want to be on the wrong side of.
Love it.
One of my favorite, during the Unrivaled season, one of my favorite moments was the Kelsey on Kelsey one-on-one game between her and Kelsey Plum, because they're both just like such like they get to the basket so aggressively, they get to their spot, they get their shots off. So Kelsey Mitchell, and then Aaliyah Boston's having a really strong season.
Okay.
She missed her first game of her career earlier this season, but she's played 6 games. She's averaging 15.5 points a game, 7.5 rebounds a game.
It's pretty good.
And last night they ended up losing that game. But when they got back into the game and ended up making it closer down the stretch, it was because they started getting the ball to Aaliyah Boston. You know, going into the fourth quarter, I think Aaliyah Boston had 3 or 4 points or something like that. And once they started feeding her the ball and, you know, establishing that post presence, they really were able to come back in that game.
Nice. Okay. So there's actually a lot of games happening like soon.
Right.
So we got some watching to do. So what do we got? I'm talking about today.
Tonight we've got Phoenix at New York at 4:30, LA at Washington at 4:30, Minnesota at Chicago at 4:30, and then Atlanta at Portland Fire at 7.
Okay, this is a lot of basketball. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably actually these all say League Pass. So how did you watch the game yesterday? It was on Prime.
The games yesterday were on Prime.
So you were able to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I got lucky and shout out to my cousin Jamar who signed into my Prime and never signed out. So I'm in there. But these ones today are on League Pass.
So I think the ones today are also on Ion.
Ion, yes.
So pro tip, Krystle judged me. Like I told her about this and immediately got laughs back. Get an antenna.
Y'all. What's happening? What's happening?
So for the Ion games, I didn't even know this. So like I was in here like, oh, I got a Samsung TV. I got to get on the Samsung TV Plus app and do all of this. And you can do that. Ion's on there. You can watch the games on there. But turns out if you hook up an antenna, Ion's over the air. You can just like stream it down. It was actually like a really like easy way to like once it was hooked up, it was a really easy way.
Where are you getting these antennas?
Listen, you got Amazon.
Because I'm like, you can't just go to Kmart, guys. You can't just walk in there anymore. Like, there it is on the shelf. It's not a thing anymore, okay?
You said Kmart.
Oh, Kmart.
Can't go to Circuit City.
Yeah, you know, can't just walk into Circuit City or what was the other one?
Radio Shack.
God, they're all gone.
Don't be like this.
They were here in '99 when the Knicks were last in the Champions Zone. Okay,
That's
so
true.
That's pretty much it. So stay with us. Come back. We're gonna try to do this on a weekly basis, but you know, with the games and life, we'll be here when we hear. So thank you all for listening to this Curry Connor production. Aces Full of Queens, Fridays, maybe posts on Saturdays, but I'll try to post it the day it comes out, just so that we can stay on top of our roster here. And join us next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.